Hey guys, this is Denny.
And this is James from TeaDB. And today we are here for episode 77.
Mm-hmm.
So this is another tea brought to us, if you remember way back when we reviewed a 1979 Oriental Beauty. So this is from the same tandem. It's from Jeremy, who went to JT and then sent us some stuff.
Cool.
So luckily, this is a 1982 Dong Ding, so I don't think it minded waiting for a few months, as it's been waiting quite some time as it is. So.
Thank you, Jeremy. Yeah, beautiful looking. It smells incredible, actually, and I find that aged teas don't have as much of a smell. They can lose that smell sometimes, so I'm really excited for this. I'm curious about how aromatic it's going to be. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Get hints of rum, honey, nectarines.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yep. I'd say that this is, aged oolongs, as some people know, are a difficult tea to find in the West, and finding good examples of it is tricky. Mm-hmm. And so I'd say this fits the profile of what I would consider a very good aged oolong. So, very plummy and very fruity in taste. And I've had it once before, just to sample it before bringing it on the show.
Cool.
And I enjoyed it quite a bit. And so you can see the rolling is a little bit looser than the rolling today. Mm-hmm. And that just kind of reflects the different processing of a different time period.
Yeah.
Back in the Reagan ERA.
Absolutely. And so we have a small Yixing teapot. Is this 80?
I think this is 90.
Oh my god.
90 to 100.
It smells so good. It smells so sweet. It smells like dessert in there. So A+ already. Okay, and then you have some ridiculous amount of tea leaf in there.
Yeah, a little bit over 6 grams. So it's actually a little bit light for my normal ratio. So I usually use about 7 grams. So not much, but
okay.
Yeah, it just happens to be kind of like the end of that 10 grand sample bit.
Yeah, well, so. And it's still great quality. And you'll see that more with high quality oolong teas than like, let's say a green tea, a black tea, or a white tea, just because those are going to become a little bit more roughed up and a little bit more particulate and stuff like that in there. So if you're at the end of a tea, inside of the tea bag, it might seem like it's a little bit dirtier. It's not that it's worse quality tea, it's just that it's kind of seen some better days physically. So
yep.
Cool. And so in terms of brewing parameters and so forth, James, looks like you're brewing this basically off of the boil for...
Yeah. Well, I'm using a little bit longer than flash steeps,
okay.
But probably similar to what you did for the silver needle from the previous episode.
Yeah.
Kind of like wait for a few seconds and then steep it.
Cool. Absolutely. Do you have any tips in terms of steeping over time for oolong teas in particular? Or?
For aged oolong teas, I find that sometimes you really need to hit them pretty hard with heat in order to just get them to open up. So you can see it's brewing a nice, pleasant orange. I probably could have gone for a little bit longer. If you go for a little bit longer, you'll get a little bit deeper red.
Yeah.
But they benefit from hitting it with a lot of heat.
Oh, goodness. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah, it's so interesting. You know, this type of sweetness is very distinct, very different than the silver needle white tea sweetness that accompanied the last episode. Mm-hmm. It definitely has more of that flatter sweetness. It's not nearly as what I would describe as kind of stevia, like sharp, like saccharine.
Sharp and crisp.
Right. This is definitely plums. This definitely has that roast on it too. You know, it's very aromatic and very sweet smelling, very fruity smelling, and actually I'm not getting as much of that. Not getting it as intensely in the taste. Not that it's not there, but it's not as dramatic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a good call. The taste of the sweetness here is dramatically different from like a silver needle or a newer tea. The sweetness here is kind of the sweetness that you can really only get out from truly aged teas. So it's a little bit herbally, and there's just kind of like, I think in the Chinese tea community, sometimes they'll literally just describe it as the aged taste.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you get plenty of that.
Yeah,
for this tea.
Totally. It's almost medicinal in some sense.
Mm-hmm. In a good way.
Yeah. No, really.
Not like, take your medicine, Denny.
No, it's wonderful. And the first steeping here, just because we did one quick rinse, or did you do two?
I did one rinse.
Okay. I think it's lacking a little bit of the viscosity that I'm expecting to see here in this next one.
So you can see that this just has a deeper kind of like nectarine, orangish red.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Beautiful, clean, clear liquid.
Yeah.
And so it's been aged well.
Yep. And so flavors that would be negative or usually bad for aged oolongs are sourness, especially, and tartness can be considered bad, although you'll find some conflict about that specific taste. And so there's not much of that here. So it's stored very, very clean.
Yeah.
And so that's what I really like about this tea.
Absolutely. Yeah, and speaking of aged taste, I always say when we do aged teas that there's this kind of weird, sort of blunted, almost kind of earthy, metallic-y, mineral-y taste to it. And I'm getting that here too, and I love it. It's a kind of an acquired taste. It's interesting. I think that it, in some sense, sort of, I think the aging process, for me, from a taste perspective, can kind of soften the peaks of the intensity of flavors and make them really kind of extended. So I'm just enjoying tasting this in my body right now, and I took a sip maybe 10 or 15 seconds ago. And that's one of the coolest parts about tea, from my experience, period, and one of the coolest parts about aged teas like this. So.
Yeah, is that the taste is very long-lasting, so like the Hui Gan, the body taste, and all that stuff. Cool, I like that.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, that different wonderful sweetness, nice little hints of fruit, just a little hint of charcoal. Yeah, really, really pleasant. And if you were brewing bad tea, using this much leaf in a teapot with boiling water that's also retaining heat, it would just be gross. It would be terrible.
In fact, we did that once. April 1st,
Yeah, we did.
2014.
And so...
It was pretty gross.
Yeah, it was absolutely gross. And this is just pleasant, frankly. The intensity of the flavor isn't too much at all.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's very nicely balanced, good body, richly sweet. There's just a lot of sweetness in this tea.
Yeah, wonderful, very aromatic too.
Yep, and we can have another smell too.
Yeah, very much on the plums, and that thing is
a little bit
packed.
herbal.
That thing is packed full of leaf. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is wonderful. And James, have you been drinking aged oolongs?
I have been a lot this month in particular, and a lot of the good stuff is really off the shelf. I hate to say it, and so this is one of the few ones that I've ran into that's actually for sale in the U.S. and it's not cheap. It's $18 an ounce,
right?
But it is a good example of an aged oolong and like the specific profile that people that like aged oolongs really try to seek out.
Absolutely. And one of the coolest things about doing TeaDB is that we get exposed to a lot of really great teas that folks don't get exposed to. We love it when vendors send us teas that they think are interesting. We love talking about it. So 1, send away. 2, though, if you do want to develop something akin to that, go ahead and just start emailing vendors. Everyone is extremely knowledgeable and extremely willing to network. And so if you ask for a referral about a specific kind of tea or flavor profile, people are more than happy to refer you away.
Yep.
And it's just like anything, it's a business, and that does well for other vendors as well. So
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you get into kind of more of these specialty vendors and stuff like that. Because, historically, tea, of course, like all industries, never really started out online. And so, like, as these people move into kind of like the internet, e-businesses and stuff like that, it's just a really good way to connect and just learn more about tea and get some really good specific recommendations.
Yeah, this is wonderful. And I'm getting that just hinting on mouth-puckering experience, but it's just a hint. And I imagine this could go for...
I'd say about 10 times.
Yeah, quite a bit of time.
Yeah, and part of that has to do with using this much leaf. If you were
Absolutely.
to use half that much leaf, you probably wouldn't be able to go.
It probably wouldn't be nearly as good either.
And you can feel that the Yixing is just baking.
Ooh, it's very true. Cool. All right, well, I've never said this before, but if I were to have said something like, James, where should folks learn more about tea?
Yeah,
what would you say?
So they should come hit that subscribe button, first of all, if you have not already.
Yep.
Check out more videos. We're releasing weekly episodes where we bring on a different tea each time. And also come visit our website, TeaDB.org. Lots of great content on oolongs, pu'ers, and just tea in general. And also go check out JT. And big thanks to Jeremy for picking this tea up and sending it our way.
Yeah, cheers. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
Cheers.